All right, welcome back to episode 6 of Get to Know Your Mod Author. And this week we've got somebody with Down syndrome. It's Apollo. Say hello.
Hello.
That was it. That's all you're gonna
Yeah.
That's all
I
you're
mean,
gonna
you said say
say.
hello. I'm gonna say hello.
Yeah. Say parakeet.
Parakeet.
Wow, this is gonna be great. No, I'm saying. I have a feeling he's gonna do whatever I tell him. No, I'm just kidding. All right. I have actually just already completely forgot all of Apollo's mods besides Manny Marco. And I was going to be like, you know him from just Apollo, just take it away if you want to talk about any of your past mods, the shit you've done, and then obviously pimp Manny Marco real quick and like an intro. Go for it.
Okay, so I guess folks already know me from Dragon Combat Overhaul, of
That's
course.
what it was.
That's the one. Yes, that's the one everyone knows. Yeah, I wonder why everyone starts remembering things when their dragons actually start killing them. Uh, then there's of course the Civil War Overhaul and its consistently fun user base. Then there
Don't they
is
always
after
chat
that.
about? Isn't that one like always broken in some way or something?
Well, that's what happens when you try to replace the backbone of Skyrim, and you do it while you're studying for a bar exam. Um, and then and then let's see. There's the Fire and Ice overhaul. Made fire spread. Thank you very much. Fucking awesome. And then there was the combat drama overhaul, my
See,
personal favorite.
you said Fire and Ice overhaul, and the first thing I thought was that's awesome. He brought Hodor into. Oh wait, never mind.
No, I did not. And then, so then there was the combat drama overhaul, my personal favorite that not enough people have downloaded, but whatever. Screw you guys.
Whatever
And
you love the
then,
most is what people won't download. That's pretty much how Nexus
yeah.
works.
And then there's the important information overhaul, and that one I love. And then there is the what else did I do? There's the epic music overhaul, lets you replace all the music you want with whatever you want, and redoes the way the game processes fight song mechanics, so it's not constantly playing at you for years after you get done with a fight. Um, and then there is the simple magic overhaul, which also up there in one of my favorites, which makes it so that magic actually is dangerous to you as well as to everyone else. And then there's the movement and stamina overhaul, wherein you can fucking drown. And they all have their own little special place in my heart for me, but definitely Combat Drama Overhaul would be my personal favorite that not enough people have used.
All right, so and from before, like I know you might not know this is coming. This is always great. Sooner or later, people watching they're gonna realize this question's coming and they're gonna be ready for
I
it.
mean,
But
what the hell are you going to ask me?
well, so and what we from what we can understand in Manny Marco, Adolf Hitler shows up. What role does he play there?
Well, let me see. Well, there's actually two Hitlers. There is the regular Hitler who does his usual thing, with like killing all the Jews and things like that. And then there's Black Hitler making paninis off to the side next to the spacesuit, and he actually is a little bit more of an important character, but I don't want to give it away.
No, yeah, I'm stopping you now because last time I let some guy when I did the interview with some guy, we basically made a pact that if we ever make 500,000 between us with like paid modding or for any reason, we will do a gay synth Hitler Preston Garvey love quest where you then help them artistically cleanse every settlement one by one. We are now on
Oh,
the hook for that. Like we're Cat's on board. Hoth said he'd come if we paid him. Are you in? If we actually make that money and we're actually going to pay people, you're going to come help us make gay synth Hitler quest mod?
man, if you pay me, I'll do anything you want with Hitler.
That sounds pretty erotic. The phrasing. No, I'm just kidding. No, like I
I
started
am.
with Ellie
Ooh,
on that question, and then everybody's like, "You should just ask a Hitler question at the start of every interview." I'm like, I don't know what the. Okay, fine. Like some guy went on for like 6 minutes. I'm like, Jesus Christ, did you really just come up with an entire gay synth Hitler quest line without knowing I was going to ask even close to that question? Like, holy shit. But and then we dug the hole. But I'm okay. I like digging holes. Clearly, I come out the other side every now and then. That's how much it goes. But um, Let's get to the fun one early on. Well, actually, I could actually drag out. Like, I could ask you at Manny Marco at the end, so I make people wait, but then they'll just fast forward the video, so that doesn't work anyway. It's one of the ones that I'm excited. Like, I've been excited about, and I have constantly berated him for him, and then hopefully everybody else has about that really bad trailer video with the glitchy camera angles, which he admitted to me that he shot. So he's terrible at it. He's Michael Bay level of close-up camera action.
I loves it.
Lens flares. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I will reinstall Skyrim for it. It'll probably be the last thing I reinstall Skyrim for, and then I'll probably delete it right afterwards, or I'll probably play it through a couple times. I don't know.
You're gonna do it a couple of times.
So have at it. Give as much spoilers as you want, like the team, because I'm still not even sure how many people are. Like, when I see something I like, I just stop looking at it because I don't want to spoil it for myself later on. So, which he has already done. He spoiled way too much. So I'm like, I'll stab him to death, but I'll forget about it because I have no memory. But have at it. Just pimp it. Go for it. That's a big one.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to spoil anything that we haven't already said because obviously we are keeping it very close to the chest. I will say that we have a team of very excellent people working on this thing constantly, and that we have as a result a very hilarious team chat. But yeah, we've got a lot of your favorite mod authors working on this thing. Of course, I mean, start off at the top. We've got Enai, who's been making he made a lot of spells and effects for us that we're using, and of course, he gave us permission to use all of his spells and effects from all of his mods. So if we needed to, we could pull them from it. We haven't yet, but we might. We have Gecko, Lazy Gecko, doing, or Lazy Skeever, as you might know him if you only play Skyrim. He's doing sounds for us. We had Eleonora build a dungeon for us. We had Naf build some dungeons for us. We had Viltushka build some dungeons for us. You know Viltushka from Skyrim Sewers. You know Naf from Beyond Skyrim. Of course, you know Eleonora from every single house mod known to man. Then who else do we have? The problem is I know I'm going to forget somebody. They're going to be really insulted and just going to be like, dude, there are too many of you. Of course, Tendo is producing the thing with me. He had to step back from modding recently, but he is, we still utilize him very often. He also loves to, post racist memes for us. So that's good too.
Yeah, he's on my Skype as well.
And then, of course, one thing that a lot of you are excited for is the fact that Gopher will be doing cameo, and Richard will be in the quest, and he will be the Richard that you know from his Let's Plays, and so that character will actually exist in the world. We also we have amazing voice actors, very amazing people who are going to make this thing really come alive, especially our Manny Marco. Who else is on this damn thing? We have Exceneris and Tascani. They both were working on Complete Alchemy and Crafting Overhaul recently, and Exceneris also did a bunch of stuff with Perma. Those guys are excellent what they do. We have one guy, I forget his username, and I don't want to tell you his real name. He does a lot of really cool meshes and textures for stuff, and he's building out some of our unique artifacts. God, I don't want to say his real name, but I'm forgetting his Skyrim name, so don't kill me, N. And then. Well, no, because I mean, we're doing it all through Facebook, so we all know each other's real names.
Yeah.
And who the fuck else is on this thing? God, there's just so many. There's so many of them. We have Batmana. He built a bunch of stuff for us. Sephiroth made our custom skin for our custom dragon. I mean, there's been just so many people that have come in and out through this thing. Mystic Entity, she's our art director. I should probably mention that. Mystic Entity has been making a bunch of stuff for us. I mean, I could fucking.
So you make me feel really unprofessional with how I do my quests, which are basically like pretty much how Hitchhiker's Guide was written. It's just like, I'm just gonna start writing shit, and then I hope it's funny, which it turns out half the time it kind of. I mean, Hitchhiker's is, but I mean, like when you do that, it kind of hit and miss. Like I just throw shit at walls and hope it sticks. Like you have an art director. You're like, what the fuck? I'm an art director. I don't even want to ever be an art director for me. So,
No. Well, that's kind of the way. That's kind of the way this thing has kind of had to shake out, because I mean we have had to make so much stuff, and we have had to make it in order to keep us on point. We've had to make it very structured in the way that we're doing things, and so like I am the director. And I keep wondering when the team is gonna finally rebel against me when they realize that I'm not doing shit. I'm just telling people to do shit.
No, that's part of the problem though. Is like the bigger something gets too, and it's sort of like a draw of why I don't want to do it as much either, because you end up at a point where you find out that you're doing more direction and just trying to keep everything cohesive, but you're not doing what you love in the modding, which is creating something. And it's that line, like it's your dream coming to creation, but everybody else is. It feels like everybody else is doing it, and you're playing the glue.
Yeah. So but yeah, and to be honest, but very soon it will all kind of fall down onto me to be like, make all the quests and the scripting and shit like that. And then that's going to be, then I will finally actually be working. But for now, people have been going for just 2 years on me just vaguely promising I will get to work at some point on something. And meanwhile, I'm just approving shit. These people, I guess the point I'd like to make is these people all have been working very, very, very hard to build something out that is something you haven't seen before, something that will. We're hoping you love it. Maybe you won't. Maybe you won't. Maybe this will be an entirely total waste of time. But I don't.
Fun waste of time.
Oh well, yeah, no, definitely fun. Again, if you see our group chat, man, we are some awful people. But no, I mean we're hoping that people love it, and we have done everything we can to give you something that will. The way I like to put it is a victory lap for Skyrim, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. And I think we're actually starting to really succeed in this thing. It of course comes out on June the 6th, 2016, a year and a half later than we had hoped. But,
was the plan to try to get a 666 in there, or was that just coincidence?
Come on. Come on, what do you think?
I don't know. I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, that definitely That was definitely. We knew June was gonna be around the time, and I was just like, well, let's pick a date, and I was like, oh hey, we can do that.
Human.
So, yeah.
What else I gonna hit on there? Like I said, I'm looking forward to it.
And again, I want to apologize to any team members that I have forgotten off the top of my head.
They'll show up and be like, "Fuck you."
I will mention our writer Jabber Katie. She does amazing work, and yeah, it's gonna. This is.
And Jabber Katie gave me permission to try to poach you after this. I'm gonna try.
Yeah, no, yeah, you can go right ahead.
He's talked you up so much that I can offer money. I think I got a whole I think from this video I'll make 37 cents. It's all yours.
All 37 cents, man? That's crazy.
There might be a fee from sending it on PayPal of 45 cents or something if you can pay the difference.
Well, yeah, I think she'd be into it.
Freaking PayPal. I had somebody send 10-cent donation and PayPal took the 10 cents. I was like,
I always love it when I get those dollar donations on PayPal, and I'm just like, okay, but it's really 67 cents, and I feel like everyone kind of lost out on that one.
No, Elon.
Except PayPal.
Except for Elon Musk, he's sending more rockets up with that money. So I mean, help him out.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah, there you go. So you put it toward that. That's good.
Well, it really got me once. Is somebody's gonna be like, holy shit, I got a $50 donation once, and I was all like, yeah, but I got two. He double tapped it is what ended up happening, and I realized that upon seeing it. Like, he sent me two $50 donations 0.1 second apart, right? So PayPal screwed him. So I was like, oh, well, fuck, man. I just refunded the second one instantly, and then PayPal charged $3 to refund it.
Okay, see that's on you there.
What do you mean it's on me?
Shouldn't have refunded it. Just should have been like, all right, fine, whatever.
Dude, it clearly accidentally sent 50 extra bucks. That'd be a dick move. I was like,
I see. That's what you're saying.
yeah. He double tapped like PayPal, and it sent the process twice. So, so like it was a nice guy sending me $50, and then it cost him another 50. It actually cost him another $3 because I refunded the money, and I was like, because I saw that, I was like, two $50 donations. I was like, holy shit, it's Christmas. And
so wait, which one of your fans is sending me $50, and how do I suck up to them?
I don't know. That guy didn't even like something. Like that guy was just didn't even put anything in the note. Either just sent me $50. I'm like, sweet. I'll take it.
Yeah. Well,
honestly, they've been pretty good on. Like I bought a 980 off of just my donation since December, so they've been pretty good.
I don't think I've made anywhere near close to that much, but I entirely use this, and this is what I will tell people. I use all of your donations to contribute to my T-shirt fund, in which I just buy lots and lots of cool T-shirts.
I put it into buying shit to upgrade my computer so it doesn't break. Well, actually, I broke it. That's why I broke the video card. I don't know how I broke the video card, but that's a whole nother story. Everybody knows that one out there because I was like, I had to put it up like, excuse me, on my Patreon thing. I was like, my video card's going to shit. Where am I gonna go? I'm still out of it because whatever. God, my brain is just. That's what I was gonna ask. Any plans for Fallout? Like, do you actually want to do quests for it? Do you want to do anything for the game? Like, any desire?
I have absolutely zero plans for Fallout because fuck that game.
So what are you gonna do after Manny Marco? Stick with Skyrim?
Well, I mean, after Manny Marco, man. To be honest, I am not sure because I'm
so much into it. You just
dude, that it has overtaken my life for the past 2 years, my entire fucking life. So break would be nice, and then then after that, we are thinking about designing our own shit after that.
There's no break, by the way. There's 6 months of bug fixing.
Well, hopefully it won't come to that. If again, cross my fingers, Murphy's Law has hit us hard from the beginning on this thing. But if things go according to plan, which they have never done, but if they do, then theoretically our bug fixing should not be that bad. Well, although I can tell you that we're seeing some crazy cool bugs pop up every once in a while when I'm doing my testing, and it's awesome.
It's always interesting what the hell can happen when you just and then when you mess up, like when you mess up the programming and the scripting, and it's something that once you see it, you realize how terribly you messed up. Like those are always the funniest to me. I'm like, oh shit.
Well, those I usually see like right off the top of the bat, but no, for me the problem is because what we're doing includes the entirety of Skyrim and includes its citizenry in a few places. It's the interaction of vanilla with it that really kind of.
So can you give one spoiler? Maybe and give the craziest bug you've seen while testing.
Well, and again, I haven't tested too much of the thing because we're obviously still building out a lot of the stuff. But all right, so there's damn it. All right, I'll spoil something. So when the quest starts when you walk into Whiterun, and Manny Marco explodes into existence. And everyone gets down on their knees and shit like that, and is screaming for their lives and whatever, all vanilla stuff. And anyway, but at one point, and he makes this, he does a big monologue at the beginning, and there was this one point I was showing my little brother that they use like, oh, that's really cool, and things like that. And then at one point, as he's monologuing, this person just walks out of the bannered mare and it's just like, oh, it's a fine day in Skyrim. It was like, or like Nazim was like, do you get to the Cloud District very often?
See, I was hoping the guy screaming for the thing like just overrode his audio. That would have been great too. Like Manny Marco does the speech. Oh, for Talos! It's like, what the crap?
No, thankfully nothing like that has happened.
Can you add an RNG in there? Can you just do a random 5% chance that on that intro Manny Marco will just strike that guy dead?
I'm not spoiling that.
Oh, sweet! I like this already.
I'm not gonna spoil what he's gonna do when he gets there.
Well, you gotta kill the Talos screaming guy, like just because he's annoying. Come on.
I will not say what Manny Marco will do. Manny Marco comes and he is here for you. He loves you, okay, and he wants you to have the best, longest life possible. And
You
that's
made
all.
Nazim work for him, didn't you?
I'm not saying anything. He wants all the people of Skyrim to live in peace and harmony. That's what he wants. And that's what he's aiming to do. And he comes bearing gifts.
Okay, so we'll get to the two. We'll smash the two fun questions. Everybody's like, "Why do you ask this every time?" And I'm like, "Well, because personally, I'm actually interested in the opinions on them. And I don't give a crap about you because you're just watching this and being entertained. So pass off, gnomes. I really know how to keep an audience. What are your thoughts on just I mean in general, paid modding, etc. Pro, con, what you think should be done? Like, do you think they have a shot at actually pulling it off? That kind of crap. Not for Skyrim as much as because I doubt they're going to try to rehash that old bag, but future Bethesda games, future Elder Scrolls games, which is looking really likely.
I here's the deal. I got no problem with people wanting to get paid for shit. Hell, I've wanted to be paid for my shit, which is why there is a donation button on my thing. But at the same time, I guess the problem is, and this was what happened when they tried to do it with Skyrim, is that if you already have a community built out of people who are building off of each other, it's not going to work out if you suddenly introduce this one element in, because then everyone is going to take their ball and go home. And that was my problem with Skyrim, is that we're all building off of each other in this thing. The only way you can do that is if everybody is working for free. Now with newer games, sure, they could try it and it might work. I mean, the problem is that you're going to see a lot of people. You're going to see a lot of smaller, worse mods. The mods will be worse as a result.
So see, I want to interject on this one because Hoth actually brought up a point that I didn't think about, and I haven't actually ever really. I didn't ever really think about it. He made a good point. He says that he thinks part of a problem is going to be is that what you said there is kind of right, because it's you're going to see a lot of people trying to make more money off the least effort. He says, but what we're also going to see is people who do this professionally for a living actually start producing mods because they can make money off of it with a huge user
But they're not
base.
going to make. But they're not going to make enough. There's no way they can make enough for it to be a viable business option. It's just it. You cannot make enough money doing this to make it a viable scenario.
I kind of disagree though with Fallout.
Okay,
They've got like a $15 million user base.
let's use Awake. Let's use Awake as a good example of that. Okay.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you're gonna win this one. I already know it.
We've been working on it for 2 years. I mean, it will be, well, not 2 full. I mean, I'd say it'd be a year and a half. We've been working a year and a half with the top people at the top of their game. Okay, we have the best people in every single way to do this, and we've been working on it for a year and a half. I mean, the amount that we would need to make that at all viable for the people who have been doing this, I mean, is each one of them, even just if we just look at their individual contributions, it would be, each person would need to be paid thousands, and I got to be honest with you. I don't think people would pay $10 to download this thing. I wouldn't ask somebody to pay $10 to download this thing. I think it's quote unquote worth it. You know, if you consider Dragonborn worth $20 and things like that. But in reality, Dragonborn doesn't cost you $20 anymore. And I don't think that I would ever make enough money to pay back all these people for all the excellent work that they've done. And to have that kind of be over our heads would discourage us even further with that.
Together, yeah. And yeah, Hoth brought that up too. Like it's probably going to be economically viable for the little mods for the little things, but for doing big quest mods at the cut they're giving, it's kind of going to be interesting to see. I mean, with Skyrim, it definitely isn't worth it. You can't do it. And with Fallout, if they do paid console modding, you've got like 10 to 15 million people as far as a market you can shoot for. But it really depends to see what that market will actually do. So I'm not in disagreement with you. It makes, like, even if you got 1 million downloads on the thing and you charged $1 a pop for it, you're only making 250,000. And then you've got like 45 people that have been working on it for 2 years. That's less than if you had just gone to work for McDonald's part-time.
Yep. And that's the problem right there. And I think that the utility of it is outweighed by the cost it would have on what kind of good mods would come out. I mean, you would never see beyond Skyrim. You would never see Sky Oblivion or Skywind, come out as paid mods or anything like that. And I mean, of course, there's also copyright issues there as well. But I mean, when it just comes down to it, the sheer amount of time and effort to take that goes into these things, I mean, I would never do it. I mean, hell, I make a shit ton more, just working,
Yeah.
and I could always pick up more jobs and make a lot more money. I mean, if anyone's in it for the money, they're not going to make money, and we're not in it for the money. We're in it for all our various reasons that we're in it for, So, but nobody's in it for the money.
I'm in it to be famous. The internet famous. No,
yeah. I want to be internet famous. That way, I can maybe once every few weeks have somebody try to dox me and.
But yeah, I'm with you. I like the idea that you're having where because it's the same thing. I actually talked to Hoth that one too. I was like, one of my plans is at some point I'd like to make my own game, out of probably Unreal 4 or something, and just make something that's mine. But doing this is literally a free way to educate. Like it's, I've gotten more education from building mods than I probably could have gotten in college, and it didn't cost me anything. And that's at least a big plus about, mod. I give Bethesda a lot of shit in a lot of my other videos, and people know that. And it's a love-hate thing because I love what they do and the opportunities they give us, and I hate so many times when they drop the ball. And it's just a tug-of-war on that one for me. But
yeah. But I mean, for me, it was never about the education or anything like that. I literally started modding because one day I got stood up by an OkCupid date and was bored. So
there you go, guys. Apollodown's entire modding life, like that's his origin story.
Yeah, no, I mean that's where Dragon Combat Overhaul came from. Literally, I've told this story a couple of times.
Did she look cute? Like, was it just?
Yeah, she was real cute. She was real cute. I was real disappointed, and I was like, well, I'm gonna be bored tonight, and I was like, well, let's try to make dragons fall out of the sky, and the rest is so.
You should have seen my Horkulator one used on dragons. I think that was like the best spell. It was a spell that just turned them into a Horker, but they would still spiral out of control because it was like the Horker on a dragon animation path. Is fucking great.
That sounds pretty awesome actually.
Oh, speaking of, I was gonna tell you, it was like I forgot. It was like one of the funniest bugs that I had recently is I made that M79 grenade launcher thing, and I made it fire grape shot pellets.
Okay.
Well, I made it fire 15 shells, like little tiny grape shots, and when they blew up, they would each fire 2 small grenades of whatever damage type, right? So you get 30 explosions. Well, I forgot to change the explosion type of each of those grenades, so each of those 30 grenades dropped 2 more grenades.
Oh, so you smoked 2 joints, then you smoked 2 joints, and then you smoked 2 more?
I managed to crash the engine. It took a while.
That'll happen.
Oh my god, the explosions were just... It looked like fucking... I couldn't stop laughing while it was going on, because I was like... Because it's one of those, like you said, it's those mistakes where you catch them really quick, and you're like, yeah, I was a fucking idiot.
Yeah, that happens. That happens pretty often with my shit.
It really does. It happens for everybody, I swear. People just don't admit it. Like, I got this perfect mod. I'm like, yeah, right. You fucked that up like 10 times. I know it. But,
Dragon Combat Overhaul is on version 11. So, there's a reason for that.
And the second one that I always hit on is, and especially since you're more prominent in Skyrim, especially, I'm very vocal about it. I really hate the fact that we have like front page like porno waifu shit all the time and slutty crap, and it honestly hasn't hit Fallout 4 as much. I don't know if that's going to change, etc. When people start,
I'm sure it will,
getting easy imports. Like, what are your feelings on that? Like, I personally, mine, like, just to get where I'm coming from, is I don't have a problem with adult mods. I really don't give a shit. I've been a member of Lover's Lab for the longest time. I don't think they should be on the front stand in a Walmart when you walk through the door, which is essentially what I think we do on the Nexus. And it's that's my problem with it. Like, it's just, I don't know what just your feelings, thoughts, etc.
Well, I can tell you that more recently, one of the experiences I had with it was, I was talking to my parents once, and they think that the time I spend on this stuff is just stupid crap.
That's all of our parents.
Yeah, right. And they think that, and so I was like, no, let me show you, like, how many people are downloading, watching it. And so I open up the Nexus, and it's just like vaginas everywhere.
Oh my god.
And I wasn't thinking, and they're just like, so this is what you're into, and I was just like, okay, that was a bad idea. But no, I have no problem. I have no problem with people doing that, and it's clearly what people want. That's just what people want, and that's capitalism at its finest, baby. So they can do what they want, and I like making gameplay mods. I like making things where it just affects gameplay and very little new textures or things like that. It just changes how the game works. Other people like spending all their time making textures, and some people just want to try to make characters fuck. And if they want to do that, they can do that. And the fact that it's front page all the time is just speaks to, I think a little bit the immaturity of the video game world sometimes. I am and oh god, I'm gonna get doxxed for this for sure. But I am a big follower of Feminist Frequency, and I'm a big fan of Anita Sarkeesian, and so yeah, I'm totally getting doxxed. But I'm a big fan of that because I think it's important when we have this medium that is such a powerful medium that we use it responsibly, and that we approach it with a level of maturity that befits its power. And we, as for whatever reason, games have not done that. Games have been incredibly exploitative toward women. Games have been incredibly immature in a lot of ways, and maybe it is just the fact that it is a new art form. But it is something that, especially as gamers grow older, like you and I are doing, especially as gamers grow older, it's something that we really need to actually think about what we're doing and what we're saying, because people are going to start seeing it on a wider basis. For fuck's sake, hasn't Skyrim made more money than major motion pictures and things like that? Millions. Yeah. Yeah, millions of people are playing these things. Billions of people play games.
I actually had to point out to my parents and my in-laws is that on every year, I think for the last 10 years, video game industry has always outperformed Hollywood. It destroys Hollywood. There's more people playing games. It's just out there. And like you said, one of the things I really love about like Tomb Raider, the new Tomb Raiders.
God, I love those. I love those so much.
Me personally, I always gravitate toward a strong female protagonist. I don't know why. I really like. I think
the reason why, honestly, is because it is such a rare thing to see.
And they have more depth because
it is a novelty.
Well, they always try to throw like the men out there as the. I mean, you just look at games where I mean, there's some that
Gears
do
of
it.
War.
But I mean, they do it like you're just this massive badass kill everybody. But Gears of War actually did it good. They actually had really good interplay between the guys as far as like an emotional connection type of a deal. I give them credit for that.
Guys that have arms the size of dump
God,
trucks.
I hated that. I hated that. Everybody was like a fucking WWF wrestler in Gears of War. That's my only issue with that. But I like the fact that I like when they bring a strong female protagonist. I think because it gives you more story arc like depth because it's not as much the fact that it's a female. It's the fact that the writers feel they have more freedom to play with the emotional variance you would have in anybody, but they do it more for a female protagonist. Like they give you more depth of story in those.
See, I don't necessarily think that's true because I mean, you know, for God's sake, Halo, Halo, which is, you know, the very cliche Space Marine thing, you know, you have a lot of stuff going on with like, you know, how John 117 is thinking and like how he feels about certain things is like that actually happens in those games. Maybe not to the extent I would like with like, you know, a good story game like Mass Effect or something like that, but you know, they do that. I think for me the thing is when you have an actually well written woman character, you know, it is something that you don't see that often. It is something new, you know, and it tells the story from a very different perspective. And I think that's, I mean, I personally, I'm done with hearing the perspective of a bunch of, you know, white dudes running around doing their thing. You know, you know, we've heard that story. That story has been told 1,000 different ways. You know, let's tell a different story from a different perspective, and we'll get something new and exciting. And so I like the fact that games are really starting to do that now. You know, I like the fact that that a lot of games are real. I mean, Tomb Raider is such a great example. You know, I was playing with my little brother for the first time actually over Christmas, and you know, as we were playing it, you know, I'm just sitting there and we're watching her get her ass kicked by everything.
Dude, I know. It
I mean,
brutal.
like, God, that is a brutal game, and I was sitting there with my little brother. I'm like, this is Die Hard. Like, this is Die Hard with a chick, and I love Die Hard. You know.
You played the first one, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, that was the first one. I haven't played the second one yet. I want to. I have for life reasons I haven't been able to get to it, but I so want to because again, like, I want to see a woman character actually have to deal with real issues as opposed to, you know, who she wants to sleep with or things like that. You know,
and they build it though. The cool thing is between the first
Yeah.
one and the second one, like it's just a continuing story, which is really cool because it's. I mean, it's the same way with like TV nowadays. Like I was telling my wife the one thing that I really like, and I was telling somebody else too. The thing I really like about I think I'm almost done with episodical like TV. Like the TV that tells a continuous story, Better Call Saul, Walking Dead, you know, Game of Thrones. You know, they're not procedurals. It's like I like things that continue on, like you know, Mass Effect 1, 2, 3. It was, despite what you think about 3's ending. Yeah, it's like
I did name a feature of Civil War Overhaul. Still a better ending than Mass Effect 3. So
yo, bro, I heard you hate synthetics, so I made synthetics every 20,000 years to get killed by, so you don't get killed by synthetics. Like, what the fuck?
that was actually my iPhone wallpaper for about a year.
You did the one with the yo dog thing? I love
Yep,
that. So
yep,
I could not stop
yep.
laughing when I
Exhibit
saw that.
Exhibit is a winner.
Still a better ending, but yeah, I like the continuous. I think it's a better way to tell stories when TV's starting to catch on to that, and you know, hopefully video games do as well too. Where it's even if you have to make something on rails, which I mean, Tomb Raider is kind of on rails. It's got a lot of exploration shit, but you're basically telling a story through the zones, and you're kind of railing the actual storytelling, which allows them to be a lot more in depth, obviously, than, you know, Fallout, Skyrim, etc. But I don't know. I think like you said, we're evolving. It's maturing. Especially the gaming is starting to become a lot better.
It is slowly and being clearly dragged kicking and screaming into the 21st century, but it is happening, and it's something that you have to understand. I mean, from my perspective, I got my bachelor's degree in music And when you're studying music or art or things like that, one of the things you very quickly pick up on when you're looking at the history of things is that the history has been written by one group of people, and I feel like we all lose because of that, because we don't have these new perspectives. I mean, you have Mozart, you have Bach, you have Haydn, you have Beethoven, you have all these amazing musicians, but they all have something in common, which is they're all old dead white dudes, and it is important, for our culture, for our art, that we see things from different perspectives, because we will have better art that way. It's completely utilitarian of me. There's no, there's nothing, there's no. I mean, I guess, personally, I am, more of like, that we have a little bit of a moral obligation to do that. But at the same time, just from a utilitarian standpoint, we will have better art if we have more people making it, and if we have more people from different perspectives making it. And that's important. That's important.
And one of the cool things I saw about this, I think Ari Salvatore actually is starting to branch into making games, and a few other writers that I know of, and it's because a lot of people said that that's one of the fights that happens constantly, as you probably know, is like, is gaming video games art? Well, yeah, if you want to call a movie art, if you want to call writing a book art, it takes more than that to do that.
It's all creative shit, of telling a story, making the graphics, making the music, all this stuff that comes with it. This is all art. You're just putting it all together into a digestible format, and it
And I think you have to actually put more into it, because when you write a book, it's a whole different format than making a movie and doing a video. And in a video game, you've got a character who's interacting with all of this shit, and you've got to make it like, if you actually want to draw somebody into the story, you've got to give them consequential choices. Or if you don't give them consequential choices, you've got to make all of the characters actually relatable and work together, and make it so you got to build a relationship with the person playing it.
Right.
And that's what I think makes it, in my opinion, way more of an art form, is because there's so many checks and balances and so many different ways you can hit something. I mean like make the story that it's. And I mean, I'm guilty of this one. My quest, I've been so hit and miss on some of my things, because some things that make me, that I love, do not resonate with the community. That's been very obviously clear. Like, either my sense of humor is completely fucking out there, and my sense of excitement are...
Yeah, you really think my sense of humor resonates with the community? Let's just reference every single thing we possibly can.
I don't know. I think I was mentioning this to somebody. I was like, something that really makes me weird out, like the fact that gaming is becoming more mainstream. It seems like in a way, like you said, they've been dragging, kicking, and screaming. It seems like they've been dumbing everything down, and like the majority of stuff seems to be going through this boring lull, where it's just shit is made a little more boring because they're trying to make it accessible to everybody, which ends up making stuff boring. And
well, I mean, but I think you're overgeneralizing there. There's a lot of places we can do that, but I mean, we were literally just talking about Tomb Raider, which just came out, and that broke new ground in a lot of ways. And I mean, Mass Effect definitely broke new ground when it was doing its thing before it had a terrible ending. And, I mean, every single one of these, a lot of these games are really, really breaking new ground. And I don't want to undersell what games have been doing, because they've been doing some excellent stuff. And I mean, movies are a good analog for this, because with movies, you see, as you go through the decades, when it's starting out, there's kind of like, this phase where people are making terrible movies and things like that, and just the same way in the 80s we had E.T., for God's sake. But as the years go by, I mean, you start to see movies like Casablanca. You start to see movies, like Breakfast at Tiffany's, or I mean, as the years go by, there's a new classic movie that's going to come out, every decade or so, and so and in between that, there's going to be a lot of shit. There's going to be a lot of Plan 9 from Outer Space in the middle of that. There's
hey. come on.
there's gonna be a lot of Transformers in the middle
Oh,
of
come on. Transformers, you got what you paid for, okay?
Yes, you did. You got exactly what you paid for. You knew exactly what you were buying.
Everybody gives those movies so much shit. I'm like, man, those movies get 5 out of 5 stars for me because I went in there to see robots beat the crap out of other robots.
See, that's exactly what I went in for too. And then when I saw Transformers 2 and I had to deal with a bunch of testicle jokes and racist robots, I was kind of like, okay, I didn't buy that.
It got worse with the last one too. There was like so much more drama with Wahlberg and shit, and I'm like, what? No, just show me the robots.
I did not watch the Wahlberg one. I think I like put it on Solar Movie for like 15 minutes before I was like, nope.
Just fast forward to the robot fighting parts. Like they just need a version. Like there needs to be like a director's cut where it's just the robots fighting. Like you're just like, yeah, this is what I came for. I didn't even know there was a story involved in this movie. I thought it was just a bunch of different cool robots beating the crap out of each other. Like, this is what I came for. Yeah. But yeah, I see where you're coming from. Yeah, I tend to dwell. You're right, too much on the bad, and not actually look at the spectacular. That you're right.
I mean, it's not just the spectacular. Every single game, I mean. For fuck's sake, my second favorite game of all time is Planescape Torment. That came out in the 90s, and then you have games like Psychonauts. Every single generation of games, we've had cool things where people are taking chances and making really cool stuff, and they're gonna keep doing that. Huh?
I said Final Fantasy VII. That's still one of my all times.
Well, Final Fantasy VII was just absolutely amazing, but and it definitely comes up in one of my tops. But one series that I actually really liked, which a lot of people are going to disagree with me on, but I actually liked the 13 series a pretty good amount. I liked some of the characterizations.
That was the one with the crap. That's the one I think that killed me. I think you're right. You're on the disagree.
A lot of people didn't like that game, and there's definitely a lot to not like about it. But then I also thought that there was a lot to really like about it. What they were trying to do, and they possibly failed. But at the same time, like you had a real story being told about more realistic characters in a lot of ways. And in a lot of ways, some of the characters were really unrealistic. But for fuck's sake, Vanille. But
and you're right. The risks they took. I think the risk they took is what ended up killing me for it. Was the risk they took in the battle systems and the risk they and it fell extremely flat for me with the.
Oh yeah.
But it was a risk. You're right. It was at least they fucking put their necks out. I mean, give them credit where credit's due on that one. Like they tried.
And that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing is
Square Enix.
The game industry is just taking so many more risks these days, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I mean, and a lot of taking risks. And I used to be a cook, and I'd be developing new recipes for something or another, and 100 recipes are going to fail before I get one that is right. And they'll be horrible. They'll be utterly awful, but then I'll get one that is right, and then it'll be like, oh my god, that is fucking heaven.
Okay, you've basically convinced me to stop hating on the fucking Steam lists that come up with all these shitty games now. Yeah.
You're gonna have 100 bad ones, and then you're gonna have a really fucking good one. So you just gotta be patient. It's just like with all other art,
and never pre-buy. Wait for reviews. No,
God, never, ever do that. Oh my God, you're just encouraging them.
My last pre-buy is Destiny, for fuck's sake, and that is the last pre-buy that ever comes out of this guy.
Destiny got a pre-buy from you. That's
tell me about it. Dude,
man, that's kind of hurt.
Oh, you don't have any... Dude, my Xbox... My wife got me a freaking Xbox and the stinking PlayStation, like, within a few weeks of them coming out for Christmas, right? It's the worst feeling I've ever had. They have
how does one steal your wife from you? Out of curiosity.
Can I float my own boat? Be really good in bed. No, I'm just... No, I have no idea.
I have no way to respond to that.
I honestly think she just has downs. Like there's no logical explanation as to why she keeps me around besides mental instability. But they've been like the only game I have ever played on that PlayStation has been The Last of Us. and I had to wait for it to get remastered. Which one? Once again, what the ones or the other one? Just saying, great, phenomenal game. And the Xbox has
You know
been like
what? You know what
Destiny and
game?
Halo.
What game? From what I was watching Let's Plays of it. What game I would? One of the few games I would buy a PlayStation for would be Until Dawn. Oh my
What are you
god.
doing to your mic, bro?
Huh?
I don't know. Your mic just went crazy.
Oh, I don't.
You're good now.
Okay.
I have not seen Until Dawn actually.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's basically I know what you did last summer.
Nice.
That's pretty much what it is.
But I'd highly, if you haven't played The Last of Us, I'd highly recommend that game. That's another phenomenal game.
Well, I'm never gonna buy a PlayStation. I'm probably not ever gonna buy an Xbox One, even though I'm a huge Halo fan, because the newest Halo sucked.
No,
but,
it sucked. It sucked. It sucked.
oh my God, why did they have to make it suck? It was all good right up until Halo 4, and then I was like, okay, we'll give 343 a chance after.
It had potential, and then they fucking like they built up this big story like Master Chief and this guy hunting him, and then it was shit. And
It was
then
absolute shit.
and then I haven't, and then I fucking.
I also didn't like the graphics. The graphics looked really cartoony to me.
They were updated, but they were playing for. I think they did it that way to make it so there was no frame rate drop in the multi. I think they were really banking on the multiplayer because there's a huge Warzone multiplayer for it. Which once again, this is another part of why it's shit. They snuck in microtransactions where you buy card packs. And these card packs unlock things that you can then unlock when you get certain points inside of a war
Hate
zone.
that shit.
Do you know what that turns into? That turns into every fucking 12-year-old buying a fucking ghost and running their own teammate over for the 20 minutes of the battle. It is literally just a pile of shit. Like, ugh.
See, that's why Reach was always my favorite Halo, because all the customizations you get were purely visual. And all the and also I was in love with Invasion. God, I love Invasion. Oh my God, I could play that forever, and I did.
Because I mean, that's it's the worst part for me is when it's a franchise that like you love. Like I mean, me and Fred, we would pick up old tube TVs, put them in our cars, bring benches, and we would have Halo LAN parties on regular Xboxes. Like there'd be 25 of us fuckers in houses, like just playing Halo contests. Like, and then you get to see them just. Fucking,
wow, we really are old.
Yeah,
Remember?
we are old, man.
Yes.
and then they just shit on this crap, like, you know, and then they get us to, you know, and then you buy it out of nostalgia, like I fucking did, without waiting for a review on it. I bought it in the first week, and then played with friends and played the campaign, which is fun to play with some old friends and shit. And then it was just like, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting too old for first-person shooters that are just stupid online.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, for me, the Halos were always about the campaign, and I would always play it split screen with one of my best friends, and couldn't play it split screen. So I was like, well, that just destroys that.
Oh, they gave some bullshit reasoning for that too. Like, well, we couldn't do it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, seriously, drop the resolutions on everything. I don't care.
Bullshit. Those systems should be able to play at 4K resolution. They're rocking like. I know they're dumbed down versions, but they're over a 9. They're over. I think they're like equivalent of a 960 and like an 8-core processor and that shit. Like it's fucking. It could run a split screen. Come on.
Well, I don't want to speak to the hardware because I, as always, tell people I have no idea what I'm doing. I am not a coder. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea how I was able to make the shit I was for Skyrim. I tell people it's like that 1,000 monkeys writing Shakespeare.
Oh, dude, that's how I feel. Everybody's like, "How do you do this shit?" I'm like, "I have no idea." I was like, I literally still 4 years into modding think I'm faking it till I make it. I don't know how I do some of the shit I do.
No, I mean I don't know how I'm making it at all. I am definitely just faking it, which people have been finding out with Civil War Overhaul. Oh, some of those users I feel real bad for, but a good majority of them I'm just like, guys, if you're set up in the way you're set up, it's not going to work. I am very clear about this. You can't install it mid-play. Oh, God. You can't do that. Don't install anything mid-play, but don't do it with this one of all of them.
My favorite on this one was Maddie Wag, helped on MBI. She works on Beyond Skyrim. And she was bitching at me about one of the things I was doing inside of inside of More Like Balls Inferno, because she hates the while loops. She doesn't like an infinite on update.
Yeah,
And
no one does.
okay, but here's the thing, right? I had an on update that was in a trigger box, so when you walked into it, it would start firing the on update while you were in the trigger box. When you left, it turned it off, right? And she
Okay.
was going on about it, and I said, she's like, well, what if somebody does uninstalls? I was like, Maddie, if somebody goes into our new world space and then into my dungeon and then stands inside my trigger box, saves the game, turns it off, uninstalls our mod, and then turns it back on, fuck them.
Yeah, that happens all the time, though.
Fuck! Like, that's probably why the game, like, you can't account for so much user stupidity. I can't do it. Excuse me. I don't
No,
know.
I always come from assuming that my users will do the worst possible thing and try to work backwards from there. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised that Civil War Overhaul has as few bugs as it does. Honestly, I mean, compared to what it could have.
Well, it's just sometimes when you get these bug reports and you're like, and you're right, it's like for some reason I just never start assuming this shit, and somebody will be like, well, I was going through Dragon Break and then I saw this cool thing, so I tried to jump and there was an invisible wall, so I TCL'd through it, and then I fell through the world while trying to kill Dahlia. I'm like, why the fuck would you even do that?
Well, I mean, because
You can.
because reasons. People are gonna do it. That's like, and that's what makes games so cool. I think is that people have so much fucking freedom to do shit, and you want to account for that. You want to account.
That's what I did think was pretty. Like, that's why I released some things for bug tests, and I'm trying to get, because you're right. If you have 5,000 different people download your Manny Marco mod, you are literally going to have 5,000 different things happen, period. Like, it's just, nobody is ever going to progress through this shit in the same exact way. And that's what's kind of cool.
Hopefully not.
Well, I mean, just as far as movement, what they do, interactions, like, that's why you end up with so many, I just end up with bug reports that I never ever thought were possible. It's like, because, you make it, and then you play through it because you know what's going to happen, so it kind of dictates your actions in a way. Even if you try to do things outside the norm, you're not going to do things a normal person would do who has no idea what's going to happen or what's programmed into the mod. So,
oh yeah, no, I mean I can't predict what any of them are going to do, and so hopefully they don't find like really crazy ways to break things. I mean they're gonna, and then we'll work around that as we can. But
I'm gonna, the first thing I'm gonna do, because she told me Manny Marco, I am going to load up that game. I'm going to load up my Toasty spell, which is basically it takes a black soul gem and a grand soul gem, and then it hits the guy with like 6,000 fireballs and skulls with flames, and blows their corpse up. And I made it work on everything in the game, whether essential, tagged, and vulnerable or not. So I'm going to see if I can just nuke Manny Marco.
I mean you could, but he would come back.
Damn it! Why would you put in that?
I actually, that was one of the things that we specifically did. That I have specifically done in designing these quests is that each Manny Marco you see as a different actor.
Oh, fuck you. Man, I'm going to be going through that game blowing him up. I'm going to be blowing him up like every time. I'm going to just be like, stay fucking dead!
He and I will not spoil any further.
Well, we've gone on for almost an hour, so I'm going to say fuck it and call it. And it's, yeah, guys, I'll have a link below to his profile page if he wants to give me any links for anywhere for Manny Marco paraphernalia crap, or that I'll put that up there too. And any closing words? Anything you want to say at the last? I'm just gonna shut this thing down. I'm terrible at starting and ending these things.
All right, well, I'll help you out with that one. Folks, I want to take the time right now to thank the members of the community who are really awesome and have been encouraging us to do our thing. I know that sometimes we can be a little bit difficult to work with, but we are very, very. Everyone in our team is very, very happy to be building this thing for you. We love you guys very much, and that's what we're doing here. This is our love letter to Skyrim, as it were. And so we hope you play Awake. We hope you like it. And if you don't, well, then you don't. But we hope you do like it. And if I could just say one thing about it, I want you in this thing to expect the unexpected with Awake, the rest of Manny Marco, because we are going to challenge the way you normally play the game. We are going to challenge the your expectations you get from having done 400 dungeons 1,000 times. Because you know what? That's what we've done. We've played through this game hundreds of times between all of us, and we know how you think, and we're going to subvert that. So I want you to get ready for Awake and play it as you would normally play anything, and just have a lot of fun with it, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what all these things are about. These are games, and they're about having fun, and we want to make sure that that happens with you. So good luck, and when you actually do play the thing, try not to die too much.
All right, and ending this.